It's Dave Beasley, bassist, the great Al Brisbane.
All right.
Good to see you. Good to see you in good health.
Yes, sir.
What brings you down here today?
Well, I recently, I've been playing this bass for years, and I recently had a kidney transplant, and things change. So I thought it was in the best interest, being proactive, and reached out to Dave to get something lighter. But I didn't want to play any other instrument. This is my instrument of choice. Yes. So I'm a lifer, New York Bassworks player. Yeah.
And you also, what I would call an early adopter. You got on the bandwagon early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was introduced to Dave through Dave Jones. Rest in peace, Dave Jones. Yes. He's an incredible player and even a better person. And he introduced me to Dave Siegel. And at the time, I was getting ready to go out to Japan, and I had a young, and right away the climate change would really mess with the neck of the bass.
Right.
And I've been going back and forth with Dave about what type of woods and pickups, what kind of sound it would produce. So he really gave me an education on woods, the top woods, the fretboard, and different pickup configurations and preamps. And he assured me that whatever he built for me would exceed my expectation.
Right.
And he stood by his word. He said, if you're not happy, bring it back and we'll work it out. It's for you to get what you need.
Right.
And that's what he did. I actually called him from Japan. Little panic mode because the bass I was playing was not getting it done. And at that point, I threw my hands up and Dave said, trust me. You trust me? And I said, sure. And this is what was birthed. So this is what was birthed. This is 35-inch and a half scale. It plays, I can play anything with it. Country, rock, jazz, R&B, pop, reggae, anything. I get so many compliments on the tone of the bass. It never gets lost.
Right.
And ours, equated to like a piano sound. It's
right.
Such a rich tone, very distinct. And all I have to do is make sure I'm on my job. Because the bass is ready.
Right.
Yeah, so, but like I said, with the recent kidney transplant, I wanted something lighter. And that's when I reached out. So here I am.
You're here to discuss possibly getting the RS.
Yes. I've heard a number of players playing them, and they're incredible, So, yeah, I reached out, and here I am. He just said, come on out. I have something I think you'll like. I trusted him right away, especially with this here.
Yeah.
So I trusted him right away. And
you didn't steer you wrong.
No,
right.
Absolutely not. And I'm excited. Yeah.
Well, before we get to that, you and this bass have driven down a lot of road together.
Yes, we've been to Dubai, Japan, but all over Europe, Asia, like I said, in Dubai, and it's and even with all the climate changes, because there was some outdoor concerts in Japan, some in Dubai, as well as in Europe, and the neck never moved. It never moved. It's so reliable, and I would say to any player, if you want a reliable instrument, you never have to worry about it. New York Bassworks. You don't have to worry. Like I said, I can, and I've gone out to Italy and performed in the wintertime, and then I'll come back and I'll go to Dubai where it's very hot.
Hot and dry. Yeah.
It didn't matter. The bass just stands. Even through the misfortune of
this famous story. In
yeah,
there.
this is yeah. I had just gotten the bass. Let me mute this now. I had just gotten the bass, and I had a job upstate. So, my girlfriend at the time, we drove up, and I took the bass out the bag. I mean, out of the car, and I had a BMW at the time. I leaned it on the BMW, and I turned around, and the car rolled over the bass.
Oh.
The car rolled over the neck of the bass, and I was in shock because I didn't know what I was going to find, and there were tread marks on the case. You could actually see the tread marks on the case going across. The person said they didn't see the bass. When I actually looked at them and said, "I'm sitting this right here for a moment," and when I opened the gig bag, the only thing that happened to the bass was the C string broke, and then the tuning peg was bent. Before I opened the case, like I said, I had just gotten the bass, and I was afraid to call Dave. So I was nervous to call Dave and actually explain what happened, and I did. And as soon as I got back to the city, I came out. Nothing else was wrong with the bass. He checked everything. Everything was fine except for the C string needed to be replaced and the tuning peg needed to be replaced. Everything else was intact. That relationship was done. Yes, that relationship was done. But it's just, again, a testament to the bass.
Your life must have flashed before your eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I thought was the neck broke.
Yeah. When you first told me the story, that's the first thing I thought also. But then you followed through with the story. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, the first thing I thought was the neck was broke, and I wouldn't be able to do the gig that evening, as well as how do I tell Dave? You know, because I can honestly say every bass that he builds, you know, if you look at any of the YouTube clips, it's the same thing. Everybody speaks so highly of the craftsmanship of the basses, as well as his personality of a person. Mm-hmm. He's an incredible person, and I said to him, all these basses here are like his children.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So for me, when that car rode over the neck of the bass, it's like, how do you tell somebody you lost their kid? Right. You know, how do you tell somebody I lost your kid? But he was in Dave Siegel fashion. He's like, bring the bass in, let's take a look at it.
Right.
And again, it's a testament to quality. So I did the gig without a C string. But actually, I had an extra C string, and the bass played beautifully.
Wow.
Even after that.
Now, we don't recommend you run your basses over.
No, that's not, no. So, you know, you have many teachable moments in life. And that was one. So,
wow.
Take your bass in first, and then come back and get what you need.
Don't take your eyes off the instrument.
No.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So that was a huge mistake for me, and that could have been costly.
Yeah.
You know.
Could have been catastrophic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God these basses are bolt-ons, though. You know?
Because, yes. Oh, my God.
Worst case scenario, he could have made you another neck, but he didn't have to.
No.
So.
No, not at all.
And what I like about seeing these older instruments, on New York Bassworks TV, I've been posting videos of Dave in the shop, and I just posted something from 2016. Mm-hmm. And just watching the meticulous craftsmanship that goes into the instruments. And I was mesmerized. I'm like, yeah, this just all makes sense.
So when I finally committed and said, yes, Dave, let's do it, I actually got the chance to come down and watch a little of what's done. And I think that's important to do, because if somebody's building something for you, if you can get a chance to watch what actually happens in that process, from the time, he said, this is the wood. Now, you look at it, it's just a piece of wood.
It's raw.
you know.
Raw, yeah.
And the neck, when you looked at it, it was just a piece of wood. And then when you start seeing the pictures of how he had the diagram and everything, it was special for me.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, sometimes I might have gotten on his nerves, but I could, you know. So send me some pictures. What does it look like now? What does she look like now? And he would send me pictures like of the body and of the neck, and then he sent me a picture of everything slid into place.
Right.
So I got to see the process, you know, and in addition to actually watching him hands-on on his machines.
Right.
And it's one of those things I never thought doing, you know, a musician as a bass player, having a hand-crafted instrument. Nothing like it.
Yeah, it's a special thing, and
Yeah.
you know, seeing it done and realizing it's a one of a kind. You know, they are all one of a kind.
Yes, and people ask me, "Do you have any other basses?" I have a couple, but I don't play them. This is it. This is it. And every time out, you know, it's never failed. It's never failed. I might hit a couple things, which, you know, we're learning every day.
Yeah.
And it's just great to have an instrument. You know, it's like I get so many compliments on the tone. You know, you have engineers in different venues, and the tone, and it's easy.
Right.
It's quiet. You know, I've had basses where it's really noisy,
Mm-hmm.
and the bass is quiet. There's not much that has to be done at all. You know, you go to sound check, boom, boom, and you're out.
Yeah, that's a testament to
You know, yeah, and you're out. And like I said, I've played, well, not everything, but I played a lot of different styles of music with this. And recording session, they call you back.
right.
You know, there's no, you know, because I know the first time, it's like, oh my God, this guy, what does he have, a six string? He's
Yeah.
It's still a bass.
Right. They think you're gonna be soloing, playing chords.
Yes, and it's
everything.
still, it's a bass. You follow what is asked of you, and the bass does the rest.
Right.
You know, it lays in the track perfect every time. And that's all I can say. It's like, I look at her, and we've been through a lot together. We've been through a lot together. A lot of road stories, but at the end of the day,
Give us an example of you know, some of the things or a couple of things you've been through with this bass on the road. Like this kind of work you've done. Like you travel all over the world, obviously.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For everything from Motown review shows, gospel shows, R&B, house music, artists that do house music. I've actually did, I'm trying to think of the year, but I played behind Stevie Wonder at the UN.
Oh,
It was at the time when Nelson Mandela was releasing. He wasn't able to be there, but we still performed anyway. We got to play with Stevie Wonder.
wow.
That was great. I worked with Ashford and Simpson. It was Nick at their club, the Sugar Bar. So that was a blues night. This was it. It wasn't the Olympics, but there was a big youth games here, and I was a bass player. It was this. And NAACP 90th anniversary show. I was the bass player. I played this. Everything. Sessions for movies. Some got picked up, some didn't.
Right.
But it was this. Everything local clubs in the city. Now I'm living in Albany, New York. So everything from local clubs, corporate events, weddings, other private events, outdoor concerts. It's done everything. And it's the same thing every time. what is that? Currently I'm playing for Sticks Bones. That's STIXBONES. And we actually were doing a concert August 3rd in Branford, Connecticut. And my cousin Bob Beeman who's an Olympian, he's also a percussionist, and he performed with us. And ESPN filmed it, and then they aired it on October 17th. The engineers, what is that? It's this. So New York Bass Works, and there were a lot of bass players. Well, it was a lot of musicians watching, and like 3 of them came up to me and asked me, "What is that, and where you get it? Where can I get one?" I gave the information. Sometimes people just talk.
Right.
So I don't know, but I gave the information. Yeah, I gave the information. And some of them were like straight ahead jazz players, pop rock. I said, I've done all that with this.
Right.
So
we joke that these basses are like the Swiss Army knives.
that's what I call it.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. I said it's a Swiss Army knife. Whatever is needed, it's right there, and it stands. It cuts through, and it's a joy to play.
And this is I think now this is classified as a vintage instrument, over 20 years old, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the philosophy is the same then as it is now.
Yes.
You should be able to have one instrument that you can do everything with.
Yes.
You bring one instrument.
And it's this. I mean, and it's, when you just mentioned 20 years, it's like, wow, where'd the time go?
Yeah.
But all that time, this bass, it sounds better.
Yeah.
It sounds better. And I remember when I first got it, the day I picked it up, I had to play in Manhattan with the artist, and it was his CD release party. And I remember sitting there it was like I've been driving, a Get Out and Push, and then somebody gave me a Ferrari or a Lamborghini to drive, and I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out on the job, but to just have that, at your disposal, to be able to, it's like then you find out how many tones you can get out of this.
Right.
For whatever, if you're playing a ballad, it's so warm and profound, but it doesn't get in the way of the singer.
Right.
It's just when you play those whole notes, the notes just ring out, and it's so rich. To playing R&B or jazz, it does everything. And I can honestly say, when Dave said to me, "What I'm going to build is going to exceed your expectations," and he was right.
Yeah.
Yes, he was right. And there's a couple times where it was once I came back and I said, "Dave, I don't understand. I know this is here," and we just went through it. We just went through it. So I was informed on how to use and to start, like a starting place. Because literally, when I picked the bass up, I was so excited to get it. I should have said I'll get it after the job, so I can sit down with Dave.
Right.
And I can sit down with Dave and actually go through it. But I was so excited to have it, I took it on the job. And even when Dave gave me that base of information, as far as you start here and then you kind of just tweak what you need for whatever you're playing.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's easy. You just, if you're playing a ballad, you might want to, have your bass a little more present.
Right.
If you're playing R&B, you set some things. Rock, the same thing. Like some of the rock stuff, and I just have my mid-range up a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of
it
cuts through, and everybody in the band loves it. It's like, wow, that bass is amazing, and you have different tones for whatever we're playing.
And that's what it is, especially with the tones. I always tell players that this bass will do what you want it to do passive.
Yes, that's another thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I always said, "Oh no, I always keep batteries on hand," and I didn't have any batteries. I was on a job, I didn't have any batteries, And the guys are like, band leader's like, hey, you okay? I said, man, my battery's died. I don't have a battery. He's like, what are you gonna do? Click.
Right.
I said, hey man, you wanna meet my friend Click? He's like, Click. And he's like, what did you do? I said, it's active passive. I said, when I told you this bass has everything on it, you don't need anything. If you're stuck, you don't have a battery, that's the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
You go passive and then you work through you work through your hand.
Over to the hand. Yeah. The preamp is like, get you out of trouble or.
And I love the preamp. I use it every time.
Yeah.
So it's always on. But that one situation, passive wasn't bad.
Passive
at all.
You able to cut the gig, not embarrass yourself.
And now you see everybody's doing passives, active switches on the instruments now. Oh, through the years, I'm not going to say it just happened now, but through the years, you saw like a increase.
Right. Yeah, because there's some instruments out there that are purely active.
Yes.
And when you say you have EMGs go out.
Yes, you're done.
You're singing bass a cappella.
Yep. You are done.
Yeah.
But this is the first time you have somebody might say, well, you just use the knobs, but you still want to know what you're doing.
Right.
You don't like for me, like when I took it out, I came and grabbed it and I was literally here maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So I just, picked up the bass and left to go do the gig. And I wish I had that time to work, to sit down and have a conversation with Dave about everything. I figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out. But it's one of those things, like I said, you're driving or playing something really cheap or not as, I'm not going to say cheap because it wasn't cheap, but something that's not as powerful. Because this is literally like somebody put you in a Lamborghini and you're like, okay, we don't get the manual. How do I do this? Same thing. Because it's such a powerful instrument, and at the same time, it's sensitive.
Right.
It's sensitive, and you have to find your sweet spot to work with the instrument. So
it's honest.
Yes, it is honest.
Honesty.
Yes, it is. I like that, Dave. It is honest, and it'll tell on you.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. It will tell on you, and keep going.
It is honest. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But that's okay. It's nice to have that kind of power at your disposal to say,
What I like also is the fact, an instrument of that quality, it challenges you to play it better.
Yes.
Every time you put your hands on it.
Yes.
Because I was telling another client that my bass kind of taunts me.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have something like under my hands,
yes,
I'm going to know it immediately.
Yes.
It's one of those things. It doesn't cover anything up. It's just what you put into it, you get out of it in spades.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why, that's how I know everything is working on the instrument.
Yes. And like for me, things are a little different after the transplant. So now I'm in that space now where I have to go back and find that place again.
Yes, you're on the comeback trail. You had a health issue that you're going to come out of.
Something I was born with, didn't know. But like I say, God is good. I was blessed to receive a kidney May 28th, 2023. But so now it's just now it's getting reacquainted with her.
Right.
But at least I'm here to do it, and to do it on this instrument that has meant so much to me, and that has provided for me and my family, which is important. And, and every time I look at the instrument, and I look at I think about my family, it's something that I actually pray for. I said, I'm not asking to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I just want to be able to support my family,
right,
doing what I love to do. And I was blessed enough to have this instrument and support my family with it. So it can be done.
That's important. That's
It can
an
be-
amazing point.
It can be done. And, you know, you have something that never fails, you know, even when I might be a little crooked. And we all are. So
Right.
nobody, you know, I'm just being honest. You know, we all have a moment where, you know, a note or two, but it's honest.
Right.
And I'm gonna use that, Dave. I'm gonna use that because it is honest. Yes, it is honest.
But yeah, you've used that instrument, you know, like you said, to put food on your table.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, that's what we do. We build tools
Yes.
that allow you to earn a living.
Yes.
First and foremost, it's designed for you to earn a living with it.
Yep. And I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be doing this full time.
Right.
You know, and again, you know, you go in, it's like, what better instrument to go into battle with than this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know what he does. And it's funny because I never met Josh Lozada.
I was just thinking about Josh.
Yeah, I never met him. We've actually, you know, not emailed, Facebooked a few times, but he said something. I watched his interview and he said, I don't know what's in the sauce. I don't have to know. Josh, yes, we don't need to know. That's all we need to know. Hey, listen, all we need to know that is ready.
And it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's ready. You know, it's like when the fire alarm rings and the firemen go down the pole. When the phone rings, let's go.
you know you got the right tool with you. Yeah.
Yep. Or a toolbox. If you're not going down the pole, it's like the phone rings. Okay, let me get my tool. Let's go. But life is good. You know. And I'm thankful.
That's why I was glad you were coming in.
Thankful.
Because we've had zero time to talk over the years.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
it gives me a chance, the opportunity. You know.
Yes.
First of all, to thank you for your leap of faith all those years ago,
Yeah.
and just for the continued support.
Yeah. And that's something Dave back, because I talked to Dave. Oh my God, it had to be almost a year before I decided. Because I kept asking him, well, what if you have this wood and you have this top wood, what's it going to sound like? But you have these pickups, and sometimes I can be indecisive, especially with something of this magnitude. But it was one of the best investments I've ever made.
Right.
And I will stand on that. It was one of the best investments I ever made, which is why I'm back. Yes.
Well, well, welcome back. In all ways, welcome back.
Yeah, which is why I'm back and looking at reference. In this, yeah. I always say, you know, Dave he stands by his work.
Yeah.
He stands by his work. I mean, every so often I would come in and do a check.
Right.
To make sure everything is fine. And he's always available. So if anybody were seriously considering, I'm here to tell you that he stands by his work. And you can pick up the phone. He's very personable. And he knows his business.
Yeah.
So you can pick up the phone and call him and talk to him. And he'll always have an answer for you. The right answer. You know,
Right.
The right answer. I can honestly say that for me. He'll be able to guide you through what you're looking for. And he actually, years ago, Dave actually came out to hear me a few times. And so in my indecisiveness, when I talk to him on the phone, he goes, hey, I know exactly what you're looking for. I got you. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yep. And spot on. Yep. So that, you know, me debate going back and forth, he really eased my nerves, you know, as far as the questioning stopped. I just said, hey, Dave, okay. I went on my way and did the bass I was using. I continued using it. And when it was ready, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah.
And that's another good point. It's so easy to go down a rabbit hole on these instruments because maybe you got a couple of your money's burned on a hole in your pocket, maybe, or you want what you think you want.
Yes.
Which a lot of times is not the right thing. You got to trust the builder.
Yes.
To know what he's doing.
Yep.
And that's true in varied degrees. As far as Dave goes, Dave was very analytical, and he really puts an immense amount of thought into why things work the way they do. And he made me bass like that. My first bass I got in 2012. We did like a trade deal. I'll take pictures, but I need a bass.
Okay.
He put something together for me, and it was the baddest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
Just like the baddest thing I ever heard. I had a short list of parameters that I wanted, and he took care of the rest. I still have the bass, and the bass is just like, God damn.
Now, is that the beast thing?
No, it's bass I got before that. It started out as a fretted. I turned it into a fretless.
Okay.
A black limbo body, Indian rosewood board, and a single pickup. And I've never heard anything like it.
Wow.
And the beast thing is another thing.
Wow.
That's another great piece that he put together that challenges me every time I play it.
No, when I first got my hands on it, and I did that CD release party with the artist, as soon as I got home, it's like, click, because back to the honesty work, it makes you like, oh, you better sit down a minute. And buckle up and work through it.
Yeah.
So definitely, because it sounds so incredible. It plays well, and you want to be well,
right.
And you want to be together. It's definitely a marriage.
Yeah, and there are these beautiful nuances within the instruments as well. And as the instrument breaks in, I can only imagine an instrument of that age when it breaks in, you hear different things.
Yes.
The upper end sweetens.
Yes.
The mids just like supple.
When I spoke with Dave after I had the bass, he said, it's gonna sound better the older it gets. And I can say yes. And so many times, I remember hearing that. It's like, oh yeah, it's a 20-year-old instrument, and it sounds incredible, and it's this and it's that. And it's true.
Yeah. Plus, because you've played it all the time too. It hasn't been sitting under the bed someplace.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's
I look at even like some of the beauty marks, I call it, because it's not a chip or a dent anything. It's just this is playing.
Yeah, play aware. The bass has been played.
Yeah, and that so.
And it's original.
Yes, it is original, and that's every time I look at it, I just say wow.
And once again, the originality. That's another testament. 20 some odd years ago, there weren't a lot of options.
No.
For pickups, six-string pickups, especially six-string instruments. Weren't a lot of options. Some people were doing it. Some people were doing it okay. But there was always room for improvement. Those pickups didn't exist back then.
And I remember the first time when I heard Dave Jones's bass, and I've heard Dave Jones for years, and he always sounded great. But when he had this the first night, it was a few of us, bass players in the room. We were like, and right away I was like, "Hey, Dave," and he actually called me, said, "Man, I want you to hear the bass. So you can come on out." And I was blown away. It was in Nell's on 14th Street for people who don't know, and that was every Tuesday night. It was an open mic. It was a big open mic, and I got to listen to the bass, and then I got up and played a few songs. But listening, I got to hear how it's like the lows could shake a wall. But it was clean. It was crystal clear.
Yeah.
It was crystal clear. I'm like, wow. It's like the room. You felt it. You felt the room.
Yeah.
But it was clear. It wasn't muddy. And then all the other strings, it was crystal clear, and if he wanted it dirty, he could make it dirty.
Right.
If it was clean, he could be clean. It could be anything.
This is blank canvas.
Yes.
This is blank canvas. Yeah.
It could be, and it's, so many singers are coming up to play. To sing. And it played everything well. Everything. And I was in awe. And right away I knew, I didn't know that I was going to have so many questions because I didn't know what really went into making an instrument.
Right.
So I didn't know. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I asked, and Dave, he gave me the information. But that night, all the bass players were in there. We just were sitting there like, wow. Whew. And then I went to there used to be clinics. Dave Siegel came down and he bought a few of his basses. And he actually did one of the clinics. And he, just with his playing, he killed the room. Yeah. And then he had a fretless 6-string, and he was playing it, and everybody was like, God, it sounds incredible. But then the whole room went silent when he said, I've been playing it in passive.
Yep.
The whole night. My whole segment of my clinic, he said, it was in passive, and we just stopped.
Yeah.
Myself, Dave Jones, Jerry Brooks, we all sat, we stood there. Did he just say it was passive the whole night? When he clicked the button, when he clicked the switch.
Forget
it. And he rocked the walls in the Village Underground. Every bass player that was in that room approached him after. I don't know how many people actually came on board.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I did.
And you're still here.
Yeah. I did. And then he played, he had a 6-string, fretted 6-string, 5-string, 4-string. And there was literally a line, because he had him in a booth to the side.
Right.
And there was a line of guys waiting to try it. It was like maybe several different basses he had. So for me, you said from the beginning, and to see where it's grown.
Yeah.
To see how many people have come on board that are players. It's just incredible. It's incredible to see how it's grown. It's like exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell anybody, before you're looking to buy a bass and you're serious, check out Dave. Check out New York Bass Works, because the only thing that could happen is if you don't like the instrument for you.
Right.
But it's definitely worth picking up the phone, making an appointment with Dave to come and check out an instrument. You won't be disappointed. You might, if the bass is not for you, fine, but you won't be disappointed in the person he is.
Right.
And the quality of work in his instruments that he puts out. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm so glad we were able to meet and sit and talk and just get it down for posterity.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you once again, Al. Good to see you.
Thank you.
No, good to see you in good health.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I've got a grip, man. Yes, sir.
Hopefully we'll speak more.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, my friend.
Alrighty.